Welcome to Financial Frames. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a really powerful illusion, a belief about money that honestly keeps so many people from ever building real lasting wealth.
No, really, take a second and picture it. When you see someone driving a six-figure car, or you see that Instagram post from some five-star resort, what's your first gut reaction? If you're like most people, your brain just instantly connects the dots, right? High spending must equal high net worth. We see the flash, and we just assume we're looking at wealth.
But this way of thinking isn't new. It's not some flaw that came from social media. It's actually a behavior that was identified over 100 years ago by an economist named Thorstein Veblen. He called it conspicuous consumption. The whole idea is that we buy luxury stuff not just because it's nice, but because it sends a powerful public signal about our status. To really get this, we have to understand what Veblen was talking about. He basically argued that way back when, the top social class, he called them the leisure class, proved they were on top by wasting money and not doing any real work. It was just a raw display of economic muscle. And even though times have changed, that deep, primal instinct to connect visible spending with success, oh yeah, it's still wired right into us. But here's the question that could change everything for you. Is that link even real? Does the person with the flashiest lifestyle actually have the most money in the bank? Or have we all just fallen for a really dangerous trap, a financial illusion that pushes us to make the absolute worst decisions with our own money? Well, some academic researchers decided to find out. And here it is, the bombshell from the research. It turns out, the more strongly a person believes that high spending equals wealth, the worse their own financial situation tends to be. Just let that sink in for a second. The people who are the most convinced that looking rich means you are rich are, on average, the most likely to be financially fragile themselves. It's a total paradox. And this isn't just some weird little psychological quirk. No. This is a statistically significant financial handicap. The very mindset that makes us admire and want to copy the big spenders is directly linked to having lower savings, more debt, and spending way too much compared to what you actually make. It's a completely self-defeating belief. And this right here shows the huge disconnect perfectly. On one side, you have the illusion, the performance of wealth, the high spending, the designer clothes, the new car, the perfect social media feed. That's the show. But on the other side, you have the reality, the actual substance of wealth. That's a high savings rate, a diversified investment portfolio, and the freedom to walk away from a job you don't like. That's the real stuff. And guess what? It's almost always invisible. Now, if this one piece of research just totally shifted how you see the world, just imagine what other financial truths are hiding out there in plain sight. Do yourself a huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to Financial Frames. You don't want to miss the next insight. Okay, so if this belief is so destructive to our finances, why are our brains so easily fooled by it? For that answer, we can turn to the amazing work of author Morgan Housel, who has spent years studying exactly how our human brains and our money interact. Housel's big idea is this: managing money isn't a math problem, it's a psychology problem. Your success has so much less to do with what you know in your head and almost everything to do with how you act. Our financial lives, they're not run by spreadsheets. They're run by our emotions, our egos, our fears, and our own personal histories with money. And these are the invisible forces that are constantly pulling our strings. You've got this immense pressure from society basically screaming at us to buy more all the time. You've got the classic keeping up with the Joneses, which, let's be honest, is 1,000 times worse now because of social media. Then there's our own money story, the one that was written when we were kids, that sets all our triggers. And of course, emotional spending, after a tough day, that whole I deserve this feeling. And underneath it all, that ancient desire for status that Veblen was talking about a century ago. So, now that we understand the trap, we can actually start building a better way of thinking. And this requires a really fundamental pivot. It's a deliberate shift away from the goal of looking rich to the far more important goal of actually being wealthy. And here's another game-changing idea from Housel. Wealth isn't the car you just bought. It's not the vacation you took. That's just money that's gone. True wealth is the money you kept. It's the investments that are quietly compounding for you in the background. Think of it like an iceberg. The flashy spending is that little tip everyone sees above the water. The real power, the real mass, is the 90% that's hidden below the surface. So if the goal isn't a new sports car, what is it?
A much, much more powerful target is financial independence. This is that amazing point where your assets, your investments, your rental properties, your businesses, they generate enough income to cover your entire lifestyle. It frees you from ever having to trade your time for a paycheck again. It's the ultimate form of control over your own life.
And the path to that freedom? It runs right through this simple but incredibly profound idea made famous by Robert Kiyosaki. Your mission is to acquire assets and avoid liabilities. It's that simple. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. So that car payment? Liability. That stock portfolio paying you dividends every quarter? That's an asset. The whole game is just to build up your assets until the income they produce makes your expenses look tiny.
So we've gone on quite a journey here, right? We've deconstructed a really dangerous illusion, and we've laid out a blueprint for a new reality, one that's focused on quiet, unseen wealth and true financial freedom. And that brings us to the one question that really, truly matters, the one you should ask yourself every single time you make a financial decision. Are you busy looking rich, or are you busy getting wealthy? Thanks for watching Financial Frames.